All right, hello. Welcome to your vinyasa practice. My name is Tessa. We're going to start out right off in a downward facing dog shape. And if downward facing dog is hard on the wrist or the hands or anything like that, you can always come down to your knees and take a break and come back into down dog when you're ready. Another little option that I like is to roll the top edge of the mat and then place the heel of the hand on the roll of the mat, so that decreases the angle of the wrist bend, right? So instead of a deep crease in the wrist, it's just slightly more like closer to 45 degrees. And so that can offset the wrist pain if that is something that you experience. So go ahead, walk your feet back, stretch your fingertips forward, relax your head, and adjust the width of the feet to just a little bit wider, maybe like wider than hip width distance apart. And same thing with the hands, maybe just slightly wider than shoulder width distance apart. And you can start to move a little bit here, bend your knees. Keep tucking the chin in towards the chest so that you're lengthening out through the back of the neck. And then get a sense of pressing into the fingertips, the palms of the hands. So there's this action of pressing the floor away. You're active through the arms and you're warming up the shoulder girdle as you lengthen out through the back body. We'll take about 3 more breaths here in our first down dog. One more breath in. Breath out. And then we'll inhale and shift forward into tabletop, knees to the mat. You can go ahead and bring those wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And from here, we'll extend that left leg straight back. And then reach your right arm forward like you have a tent in your right hand. So you're pressing down through the fingertips. And so the left palm and the right knee are still in contact with the floor. Actively press the floor away with those limbs and then float the left leg up and reach the right arm forward. Take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Set the right hand and left knee back down. And then move the hips back to child's pose. And in this child's pose, sweep your arms back. You can stack the backs of the hands on the low back. Your elbows can be bent out to the sides. Shoulders relaxed. Forehead either resting on the mat or a prop if the floor is too far away. 3 breaths here. Bring the hands forward underneath the shoulders. Press up to tabletop. And then curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So returning to downward facing dog, second round, noticing how this feels in the body, in the wrists, in the shoulders, in the arms, the whole length of the spine. Do you need to make any adjustments with the hands and the feet to support yourself? Let's take 3 breaths here in down dog. Keep relaxing the head. 1 more breath. Shift forward, tabletop, knees to the mat. Extend your right leg back, left fingertips forward. And just for a moment, press down into the fingertips and the ball mound of the foot. And then actively press into the right palm and left knee and shin. So keep that sense of pressing the floor away. And then float the right leg up and stretch the left arm straight forward. Thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Set the left hand and right knee back to the mat, hips to the heels, child's pose with the hands resting on the low back. And so when I take this variation of child's pose, I like to rest my dominant hand inside of my non-dominant hand. So my left hand is resting on the small of my back. My right hand is resting inside of the palm of my left hand. Take 2 more breaths here. And then palms underneath the shoulders, coming up into tabletop. And once more, downward facing dog. So each time you return to down dog, thinking about pressing the palms into the mat so much that you're pressing the floor away and you're finding a little bit more length in the spine. You're finding a little bit more space in between the vertebrae. Take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. Shift forward, tabletop. A little bit different variation this time. So right palm, right knee are going to stay grounded. Your right foot might kind of swivel off to the side. You might find that that helps you with balance. And then you're going to extend your left leg back, turn the left hip open, flex your left toes towards your face, and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. So now you're balancing on right palm and right knee. Okay, so reach up with that left hand, press the floor away there. Either stay here like this or bend the left knee, reach back, catch a hold of the shin or the ankle or the foot. And if you've got a hold of the foot or somewhere along the leg, you can pull the heel towards the glute. See if you can feel a little bit more opening across the front body, the chest, the thigh. Take 1 more breath in here. And then if you've got that bind, release it. Come back to stretching the left leg back, left arm up, and then come back to tabletop. Taking a brief moment in child's pose, hips to heels, hands to the low back. 3 breath cycles. Just let that go, let it rest. Palms underneath the shoulders, downward facing dog. So getting used to returning to this particular shape as like a home base. Noticing if the effort and ease are kind of changing as you settle back into downward facing dog. Take 2 more breaths here. Shift forward to tabletop, and then maybe you send that left foot off to the left side a little bit. That will help with balance. You're going to extend the right leg back. That right hip's going to stack on top of left hip, and the right arm's going to reach up towards the ceiling. So you're opening your body to the side of the room. You're flexing your right toes towards your face. You're pressing the floor away with your left palm, and you're either staying here or breathing, or you're going to bend your right knee, reach back, maybe catch a hold of the ankle, the shin bone, the foot. If you've got that bind, go ahead, pull the heel bone towards the glute a little bit more. See if that allows you to open the chest and open the front of the thigh. Take 1 more breath in. Breath out. If you've got that bind, release it. Extend the right leg long, lift the right arm high, and tabletop. Option to move back to child's pose or up to downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths and then we'll add on to our flow, and we'll start to add a pace and a rhythm, so a little bit more like breath to movement. Not fast, just adding a little bit of a flow, a sense of movement as it relates to your breath. So if you're in child's pose, meet me in downward facing dog. And then we'll inhale, we'll shift forward to high plank. Pause in your high plank, lengthen out, crown of the head forward, heel bones back, inner thighs squeeze towards one another, knees to the mat. Come all the way onto your belly. Walk your wrists back underneath your elbows, squeeze your elbows into the waist. Press into the hands and the feet. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower, tucking the chin in first, and then let the forehead come to the mat. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, press the floor away, lift the heart. Exhale, lower. Twice more. And with your inhale breath, you lift up. And with your exhale breath, you tuck the chin in and lower the forehead down. Chest down. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. From here, tuck the toes under. Engage your quadricep muscles. Press into the hands and the ball mounds of the feet. Rise up to high plank. And then downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's lift our heels. Slight bend in the knees. Begin to walk your way forward to the top of the mat. Come into your first forward fold, Uttanasana. Head heavy, arms relaxed. Gentle bend in the knees. Feel free to sway the weight side to side. Let's find an inhale breath into halfway lift. So as you lengthen the crown of the head forward, hug your navel into your spine, kind of tuck your tailbone under, a little bit in the knees still. And then press down into your feet, tone the glutes, and come all the way up to standing. And if you get dizzy here, tuck your chin into your chest. Just rest your hands at your heart. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale your hands to your waist. Step your left foot back. So come into a crescent lunge, left foot stepping back, right foot still forward. Wiggle that left foot back, so you're kind of lengthening out through that left thigh. And then start to bend the left knee until you lower it nice and slow with control to the mat. Bring the hands forward. Now you can do this little flow we're going to do with or without the knee lifted. I find I have a little bit more space in my rotation if I lift the left knee up. And then we're going to take our right arm, sweep it across the body. So my right hand's just like reaching in front of my left forearm. And then press the left palm down and rotate the right arm high towards the ceiling. So you're opening up through the chest and finding a little twist through the low back. We'll do that a few times. So right arm down, forward and across the body, across that left arm. And then inhale to stretch it up. Twice more. So pay attention to your breath. And then 1 more. Good. And then right hand down to the mat. Step that left foot forward like a foot or so. And then spin that left heel down to the mat. Fold over the right leg. So 2 straight legs. Right toes pointing straight forward. Left toes off to the side, about 45-degree angle with that back foot. Just pause here and round over the right leg. My hands are stabilizing me here, just framing out that front foot. Take 1 more breath here. And then start to bend into your right knee. Lift the torso up, rising up into warrior 1. Deep breath in, deep breath out. In Warrior One, we're squaring the shoulders forward. We're pressing firmly down through that back left heel, and we're bending the right knee. We're going to open this up into Warrior Two, so that right foot's going to heel toe towards the center of the mat. That back foot kind of pivots to parallel with the short edge of the mat, and the arms open wide. So there's a little bit more expansion across the chest, and you're moving into the inner right hip crease. Now from here, press the right leg towards straight. Right arm moves down and forward, Trikonasana Triangle. Take the gaze down at the right foot, and then rotate the gaze up towards the left hand. And do that a couple of times. So just rotating the gaze down and up. You notice maybe here that I don't have a lot of weight on my right hand, so my fingertips are just gently resting against my shin bone. Good. Now left hand to left hip, bend into that right knee, reach your right hand forward, find the floor or a block or a chair as you float your left leg up and back for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, balancing on your right foot and maybe your right fingertips. So we did a little bit of prep for this at the beginning of class, Arta, Chandrasana, Shavasana. You can bend the left knee. I like to take my left knee in towards my chest so I can reach back a little bit easier and find the hand to ankle connection. And then I open my hip. So left hand, left ankle, and then pull the hip open. If that's accessible, if it's not, no big deal. Take one more breath here. Just hang out in Ardha Chandrasana with that left leg extended, left arm reaching high. And if you're in the bind, release it. Come back to Ardha Chandrasana. Start to bend into that right knee. We're going to take a soft landing all the way back into Warrior Two. And then pivot the feet into Goddess. So the back foot pivots so that heels are pointing in towards one another and toes are pointing out, and you're going to bend the knees and sink the hips. I like to kind of play with this by shifting the weight side to side. Just noticing where the weight's being distributed throughout the feet. And then once that feels nice and good on the body, lift the chest, hands to the heart. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Maybe you sink the hips just slightly lower. Take one more breath here. In and out through the nose. Inhale, sweep the arms high, straighten out through the legs. And then we're going to take a quarter turn to the back of the mat and come into that crescent lunge. So you're facing the back of your mat. Your left foot is forward, your right foot is back. You're going to start to take the hands down to the waist, wiggle that right foot back. You're lengthening out through that front thigh. And then slowly, slowly lower the right knee to the mat. Nice and soft landing there. And then hands come forward. This back knee, it can stay on the mat or it can be lifted. I find that a lifted back knee allows that slightly more rotation of the spine, as we're going to take our left arm across the front body, across the front forearm. So left arm sweeping towards the right side of the mat. And then you're going to press the floor away and open up, left arm reaching high. So you're just finding this rotation in the torso. Legs are staying as they are in that low or crescent lunge. As you rotate that left arm open and closed. Twice more. Don't forget to breathe first and let your movement follow the breath. And bring that left hand back down to the mat. We're going to step that right foot forward about a foot, spin the right heel down. Two straight legs. Hands are framing out your left foot. So you're still facing the back of your mat. In this forward fold, left foot is forward,
Right foot is about 45-degree angle, turn out. Take one more breath here. And then we'll start to bend the left knee. Feet stay as they are. You're just going to bend your left knee.
Lift the torso up, reach the arms up, warrior one. Just take a moment here to pause, feel your way into your right heel bone. Sometimes that wants to pop up. See if you can keep it rooted. Keep bending into your left knee. Take one more breath here. We're going to open this up into warrior two. So left foot pivots towards the center of the mat. The right foot becomes parallel with the short edge of your mat, arms spread out wide. You're opening up your chest, you're opening up that inner left thigh. Settle into warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. I'm pressing that left leg towards straight, setting up for Trikonasana. I'm going to reach forward with that left hand. Softly rest on the shin bone with the fingertips as the right arm reaches up. And then we're just going to rotate the gaze first. So we'll take the gaze down towards the left foot and then up towards the right hand. And just do that a couple of times. Notice how that feels on your neck. You're looking for that focal point that works for your neck, for your shoulders, kind of somewhere in this trajectory, just so you know for future reference when you're holding Trikonasana. We're going to make that transition now into Ardha Chandrasana half moon. The right hand will rest on the right hip. You're going to bend that left knee, reach forward with the left hand, finding the floor or prop as you float the right leg up and back, keeping that hip open. Just like we did on our knee, we're flexing the right toes towards the face, we're opening the hip, and your Ardha Chandrasana. You can stay here like this, which is a great place to be. You can also bend the knee, reach back with the right hand, and then remember, I like to take, you could try this, I like to take the right knee in towards my chest. It makes my ankle that much closer to grab. Once I got a hold of the ankle, then I pull the foot back towards my heel and open up across the chest. See if you can find your breath. One more round, balancing on the left leg. With or without the bind, doesn't matter. Notice your breath. Extend that right leg back into Ardha Chandrasana half moon if you had the bind. And then we'll take a soft landing into warrior two. Warrior two. Pivot the heels in and the toes out. Sink the hips low, hands to the thighs. We're going to dip that left shoulder down and forward. Look over the right. So you're keeping the hips low. The only thing that's rotating is the torso. And then opposite side. So right shoulder down, look over the left. Do that a couple times side to side. One more time each direction. And then as you come back through center, we're going to take our hands, slide them down the inner calf. So elbows are pressing to the inner knees, forearms are connecting with the inner calf, and the hands are going to slide around the ankles. Relax your head here. Still have that bend in the knees. Breathe for 3. For 2. Last one. Now, hands underneath the shoulders, straighten out through the arms, kick your heels out and slightly turn your toes in for wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Uttanasana. So with your hands, a couple different options here. You can just keep the hands resting underneath your shoulders. You can walk the hands to the outer ankles and pull a little bit. You could take
An interlace of the hands to the webbing and stretch the knuckles up towards the ceiling. Always being mindful of your choices and if your body is prepared for that, if it's willing to go there without force. Take one more breath in your current shape. And then we'll bring our palms back underneath our shoulders, lengthen up halfway. Hands walk to the waist, come all the way up to standing. You can go ahead, heel toe your feet together. Center of the mat, we're just going to come right on down to the back, move through a few back bends, and that will be our practice. So as you come down to the back, bend your knees, plant your feet, arms down alongside the body. Press into your feet, lift your hips up, walk your shoulder blades close into the spine. Option to bend the elbows, press down through the triceps, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. This is a restorative variation of an active bridge. Or if it's there, you can interlace the hands to the knuckles. In this variation, you're reaching the knuckles towards the backs of the heels. The arms are straight. Pinky edges of the palms pressing down into the mat. Take one more big breath in here. Lift the hips up a little bit higher. Stay grounded through your feet and relaxed through your toes. And then release your arms, especially if they're underneath your low back. Start to uncurl the spine, back of the pelvis on the mat. Begin to hug your knees into your chest. You can grab for your opposite forearms or wrist, or even opposite elbows if that is accessible. Rock a little bit side to side. Now we're going to reach both of our feet and our hands up towards the ceiling. Begin to circle out the ankles and wrist. Back of the head relaxed, shoulder blades relaxed, pelvis relaxed. You do not need to get your legs straight here. So if this is easier to do with the knees bent, just go ahead and bend your knees. And now in this position, let's shake out the limbs. So shake your arms, shake your legs, shake, shake, shake. As vigorously as you can allow yourself. This is a great nervous system reset. Shake, 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 shake. And then on your inhale, reach, reach, reach through fingertips and toes, like if you could touch the ceiling. And then exhale, bend your knees wide, come into happy baby. You can reach up for outer edges of the feet or backs of the ankles or calves. Keep relaxing your shoulder blades, the head, the neck, the throat, relax. Option to rock side to side if you like. And then if you want to, from happy baby, because we did a lot of work to open up through the hips, you might take Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana, with the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. You can always slide a prop underneath the outer edges of the legs there if that is too much. And then maybe place the hands on the belly or the rib cage. Roll your shoulders underneath your back, slightly tilt your chin in towards the chest. Take a deep breath in here, deep breath out. So if you're comfortable in this position, you want to stay and work a little bit more hip opening, feel free to do that. We're going to take a final Shavasana for 1 minute. We'll just take some time to be still, to be silent. Relax your jaw, relax your teeth, relax your gums. Let your eyes close, let them sink heavy into their sockets. Let all the muscles of the face relax. Let it go, let it rest. If you have more time to spare, please feel free to stay longer in your stillness. If you need to move on with your day, and especially if you're in Baddha Konasana like I am, take your hands to the outer edges of the thighs and help your knees come together. And then from there, roll off to a side. Pressing into the hands, rising up to just a brief seat to close out our practice. You can rest your hands face down on your thighs, roll your shoulders down your back, feel your sits bones root, feel your spine grow tall. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Take a moment here to reflect, notice whatever it is that you notice, whatever there is to reflect upon. It will be unique to you and your experience. The invitation is to notice what is present. And from that place, drop your head into your heart. Join your hands together, bowing in, honoring your practice with reverence and gratitude. And when we go out and we make decisions in this world, can we make them from this place of heart-centered awareness, mindful action? To all of our teachers, past, present, future, and most importantly, to the teacher within your own heart, Namaste, yogis. All right, thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed. Please take care of yourselves and come back again soon.